Good morning and welcome back. I've been out in the garden and I've picked 8 pounds of green beans from my little backyard garden. So I'm going to be canning these. This will be the second batch that I've canned, and what's so exciting about this is I didn't have to buy these. Usually every year I buy a couple of bushels, one of corn and one of green beans, and then I buy 3 or 4 bushels of tomatoes. But because I expanded my garden this year, I don't even think I'm going to have to buy any green beans because they're still producing like crazy. So I'm going to show you how to pressure can green beans. It's very easy. If you don't have these in your garden and you've got a farmer's market or a little produce stand, you can go buy a bushel and can these. I'm trying not to fill my freezer up, so I want to pressure can them, and these are perfect for soup or just to eat with some potatoes and ham. So let's get busy. I've got to wash these. They're real dirty. We had a big storm come through last night, and these are full of dirt. So I've got to wash them, get them clean. Then we're going to snap them, and I just snap off each end and then a couple of snaps in the middle, and then we'll start getting ready to pressure can, and I'll bring you along for that. So let's get busy. Okay, here are all the green beans. They've been snapped, washed 3 to 4 times. Make sure all the dirt is off of them. I've got my canning station set up with my canning salt, all my utensils I need. I've got my water getting hot to put these lids in right here. And I've got the canner going with 3 quarts of water inside. I have checked this valve to make sure you can see through it up in the light. I've checked my ring and I have my pressure weight. So this is all ready to go. And then just over here on the stove, I do have my jars boiling in the canner, getting good and hot, sterilized. And this is the water that I'm going to put in the jars after I pack them with the green beans. And then there's the pot I'm not going to bring that to a boil, just hot to put the rings in. So we are just about ready to pack these jars. Okay, I'm going to my Ball Book of Home Preserving. On page 386, it tells you how to raw pack green beans. That's what I did the last time, so I'm going to do this. 10 pounds of pressure for 20 minutes because I'm using the pint jars. Quart jars would be 25 minutes. This is a shorter cooking time, which I like. So always verify with your book to make sure that you are doing it at the right temperature and pounds of pressure. All right, we're ready to start packing our jars. I'm pulling out a jar out of the water bath canner that's been sterilizing. Then I'm going to bring it over here to my station and start packing the jar. Now I'm doing the raw pack method, so I don't have to worry about cooking these green beans. They will cook in the pressure canner, and I'm just filling up the jar. I'm going to give it a little shake. Kind of push these down a little bit. You don't want to pack it tightly, loosely, but make sure you get plenty of beans in the jar. And then we're going to add the water and fill it up to 1-inch headspace. Now I use the pints because for my husband and myself there's no waste. We can eat this But for families, I would want to do quart, and if my beans keep producing, I will be doing them in quart and giving those to my family members so that they will have some. I think I've canned 2 batches, which are more than enough, I think, for my husband and myself, because I still have green beans left over from last year's harvest. So now I'm just taking my spatula and just rubbing it down the sides to get any air bubbles out. And then you add 1/2 teaspoon of canning salt. It would be 1 teaspoon if you were using quart jars. Then I'm just going to wipe the rim off with a clean paper towel and put on the lid and then the ring. That's it. So I was able to get 8 jars in my canner. It was a double batch, so I had to do this again. I'm sorry, that's 9 jars. All right. I used the wide mouth in the second batch, and I could only get 8 in there. That's what I've got left over. So I've checked my valve, made sure it's clear. I'm putting it on, and I'm going to let it get to where it vents the steam at a really good pace. Now you can see I have a good steady stream of steam coming up, and the button has popped up. So I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes, and I'm going to let it vent this steam for 10 minutes. Okay, when the timer goes off, then I'm going to take my weight and place it over the valve and bring it up to 10 pounds of pressure. And you really have to stay with your canner from this point on. You don't want to leave it. You don't want to get distracted. Okay, it's at 10 pounds of pressure. So I'm setting my timer at 20 minutes. Let me share one thing with you. You have to stay here and watch your pressure canner, because if you don't and you don't adjust this heat, this needle could keep right on going up. So don't get distracted. Keep the kids away and always watch. Now you can see I've gone over 10, so I'm just cutting the heat down a little bit more. I want to keep it right at 10 pounds of pressure. So that's why you can't leave your canner, girls. You got to stay with it and just keep your eye on it at all times. Now once my time is up, all I do is cut this off, and I don't touch it until that pressure goes back down to 0. And I just leave it alone for a while. So we'll come to that in just a few minutes. But right now you got to monitor that pressure and monitor your temperature. Okay, I was able to cut off the canner. I let it sit until the pressure was 0. I cracked the lid a little bit and let the steam out. And now I'm taking the beautiful green beans out of the canner. They turned out great. All of my jars sealed. I didn't have any problem, so it was a great success. So I give God all the glory for my little backyard garden. I give praise and thanksgiving for my harvest of green beans. I've been able to put up about 36 pints altogether of green beans, and it looks like I'm going to have a lot more. So I'm very thankful. And with that little $4 pack of seeds has gone a long way in producing a good harvest for me this year. So if you're into canning, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you're canning at the moment. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, have a very blessed day, my friends.